Welcome to an after the draft edition of Celtics Roundtable on CLNS Media. CLNS Media, the leading online provider of audio-visual coverage of the Boston Celtics. An interesting day for the Celtics, involved in apparently deep conversations with the Indiana Pacers about Paul George. There was the Kristaps Porzingis rumors. All of those go to waste. And Boston just makes their picks just like they did last year, selecting number 3 overall in the draft, Jayson Tatum, the small forward out of Duke. They also picked up Semi Ojeleye, Kadeem Allen, and Jabari Bird in the second round, respectively, at 37, 53, and 56. But, of course, the big topic, a podcast we spent 15 minutes on trashing him, apparently. We did. We'll start with Jayson Tatum, the 3rd overall pick in the draft, who Danny said he would have taken number 1 overall if they hadn't moved back. A guy I've been watching since a junior in high school. The Celtics take Jayson Tatum, 3rd overall in the draft. Sam, I believe out of everybody here, you're probably going to have the hottest take out of everybody here. So, Tatum's the pick at 3. It's official now. How we doing?
I love footwork, man. He's probably going to play a lot of 4 here. And hashtag respects women, which, that's got to count for something. So I welcome Jayson Tatum into the fold. If you guys want to hop in the comments and dance on my grave, I'm doing very badly tonight. I'm in a lot of pain. But,
let's get the sarcasm out of the way. We know you're not happy. So what makes you very unhappy about this pick?
I think I don't know. People said he's a high floor prospect. I don't see the high floor. Like, he didn't score efficiently in college. Everything that's being projected is that, he will get there, or like it's being based on the fact that he's, a good kid and that he's going to work hard. He's going to improve his defense by being in a culture and working hard. The shots weren't falling at Duke, but, it's going to improve because he's going to work hard. And he's a fine passer. He's not an elite passer. He's a fine rebounder. He's not an elite rebounder. Like, a lot of the games I watched the games where he was matched up against other NBA, talent. Like, he didn't do well. Like, it's not going to get any easier. I don't see the ceiling. I don't see the floor. But he's here now, and I don't want to root against him. He's a Boston Celtic now. I really hope I'm wrong.
I'll defend Tatum, but is anybody with Sam here?
He dunks in 70 pounds of armor, so... I mean,
yeah, that was one of the weirder sports sciences I've ever seen, and that's saying something because they're all really weird, but to add 70 pounds of the chainmail and armor to somebody and have them dunk in it was one of the weirder things they've done, so...
I mean, let's be honest, most people didn't have Jayson Tatum in Tier 1 with Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball, so the Celtics are kind of going out on a limb here. I think a lot of Celtics fans have talked themselves into Jayson Tatum, and I can see the high ceiling. He's a scorer, so the question is, okay, we know he's going to score in volume. The question is, can he score efficiently? And, he's really good in the mid-range and the mid-post and just, post-ups in general, even though he didn't do them too much. But, in order to be a really efficient NBA player, he's also going to have to do it from threes at the rim. And that's not something that we entirely saw. 3, but it kind of sounds like Danny Ainge and company had him at number 1 for a while. And I'm the one who tweeted out, imagine having Jayson Tatum ranked higher than Markelle Fultz just a few days ago. So, yeah.
Danny can relate.
We'll see. It's definitely a bit of a gamble. I mean, this is ultimately a bet on Jayson Tatum and a bet against the 2 guys picked above him, Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball, who the Celtics could very easily have selected. So,
LP, I know you're an Isaac guy. I'm with you. I like Isaac a lot, but I know you were well on Isaac way before a lot of people were. And I know you were kind of still holding out hope that Isaac would be the guy because there was no steam or traction to it, and that seems like a Danny Ainge type of thing to talk about Tatum, talk about bringing in Jackson for maybe a late night workout the night before the draft, and then just take Isaac where nobody was talking about him. I know you were still holding out for that, but I know you're disappointed, right? You got to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think, I don't know, if he can use his length to try to defend and use his awesome footwork to get into the places like Kelly Olynyk does, that if he can develop some kind of basketball IQ to anticipate defensive positioning, maybe he's a above average defender. He has good shot making ability, even though it's from all the shots spaces that I don't like people to shoot. So we'll see. I wasn't last year. I was over the moon about Jalen, even though people thought he was a reach. I'm not feeling the same about. I would have tried to reach again, like you said, for Isaac, but we got Tatum. Creation armor boy.
I watched Coach Nick's b-ball breakdown of Tatum, which I highly recommend people watch if they haven't watched it already. It's very good.
No, I watched it before we recorded, and it was titled "Most Underrated Draft Prospect," and it didn't make me feel any better about the.
No, I thought it was misleading. Yeah, a little misleading. I mean, people are going to click it anyway if it just says Jayson Tatum. Here's a sweet video. You don't have to do that. But I watched the video. I love Coach Nick. He does a really great job. His track record speaks for itself. But what I did like about that video is a lot of the things that Nick points out as like deficiencies and problems that Tatum has. One of them being like in the half court, he's very deliberate with everything. Like he throws like 18 different jab steps and different counter moves to every single possession he has. But the one thing that he should do more of is like attack earlier. Like he'd have an easier time beating more athletic guys off the dribble if he just made up his mind quicker, and he just, instead of holding the ball and letting the defensive player get set and let the defensive players behind him get set, if he were just to attack right away. So I think that's something that's easily fixable and correctable. Defensively, he gets a little handsy and gets a little too far forward in his stance, and that leads to some of the defensive lapses that he has. But again, he has decent quickness. He has good length to be an average or above average defender, depending on his own growth. So a lot of the problems that I thought that he had, it looked like some of those things were very correctable. Now, the one thing I do want to point out, like his footwork, we always mention this, but his footwork is extremely useful for him in the post. And I think that's going to be something they explore as they put him at 4 in small ball lineups, where they try to have him kill guys, taller guys by going around him, or, smaller guys by posting them up. So I think that's going to be something they rely on a lot. And even though with Marcus Smart, a guy that's a killer post player, I think they'll do that more with a guy like Jayson Tatum. I actually ended up coming around a little bit more on him. But my one big question about Tatum versus Jackson versus Isaac. So we have 3 question marks at this spot, I think, right? Jackson's question mark is his shooting ability. His 57% free throw percentage is atrocious. Okay, we don't know if that shot is reliable. With Tatum, it's kind of okay. He has a lot of good fundamentals, but can he build off that to become a more complete player? And with Isaac, he's really raw, but he does a lot of things that modern NBA kind of calls for. And if he hits his ceiling, he's the guy everybody's going to be like, shoot, we should have taken that guy instead of the guy we took. But there's a long way to get there. So there's all these 3 guys have question marks. So, it kind of depends on team philosophy at this point, from where I'm sitting.
I mean, clearly the Celtics value Tatum's shot creation ability. I think that's his main selling point, the fact that he can just sort of go and get it. He does have plenty of strengths, and his success in the league is going to be determined by how efficient of a scorer he is. So, I'm not ruling it out, even though his efficiency wasn't great at Duke. He got a lot better as the year went along, as he recovered from injury. So I do think there is some hope here, and I think it's possible that he could have made a really strong impression with this workout, even though the Celtics said that they were eyeing him for months. But if he took another leap over the summer, I think that's reason for encouragement.
Yeah, I think part of the stuff with this though too is also like it's a little bit out of the Celtics' hands. I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen the Celtics kind of trade back. Because I one of my things I can't really get over. I maybe it just wasn't reported, and maybe this was how it was. Is I really don't feel like I don't think any other team at 3 was in danger of taking Tatum besides the Celtics. It really seemed like the Celtics were the team that had their mind made up on them. I didn't hear a lot of buzz with Tatum connected to other teams anywhere near as strongly as the Celtics. Maybe that's just because the Celtics, had that number 3 pick. But even when they had the number 1 pick, like we were hearing whispers about Tatum, and you didn't really see that with some of the other players. So I think, part of it was the Celtics had to make that decision at 3. I think they would have liked to trade back. I think we all would have liked to see them trade back. From my perspective, while I was very disappointed that they didn't trade back, I think that that's defendable because that's not something you can control. Like, you know, if other teams don't want to play ball, they don't want to play ball.
I don't really mind them. If they believed in Tatum, then just take him at 3 if there was nobody, like, really trying to trade. My concern is, like, watching Smart, and, like, I thought he finished good in college, and he had really good stats in that regard, but, like, a lot of people said it was more physicality, and you watch Jayson Tatum, whether it's in transition or driving to the hoop, he just has this, like, really weak skip-hop layup thing that he just goes to, and he just tries to draw contact. And I'm like, I don't know how this guy's going to get a basket within, like, 3 feet of the net if there's somebody in front of him. Like, that's what concerns me, really.
Before we keep going, I want to tell you guys about HelloFresh. It's the meal kit delivery service that makes cooking more fun so you can cook and focus on the entire experience, not just the final plate. Each week, HelloFresh creates new delicious recipes with step-by-step instructions designed to take around 30 minutes so that everybody from novices like myself to seasoned home cooks short on time, they can make a tasty meal. HelloFresh sources the freshest ingredients measured to the exact quantities needed, so there's no food waste. And they employ 2 full-time registered dietitians on staff who review each recipe to ensure it's nutritionally balanced. They deliver the food right to your doorstep in a recyclable, insulated box for free. Save the environment. And they are now offering light spring meals, and they have now just introduced breakfast options, the most important meal of the day. And the loyal listeners of this show get a very special offer, folks. Get this, because you are a loyal listener to this show. Use the promo code BEAT30 for $30 off your first week of HelloFresh. That's $30. Again, support this show and try HelloFresh for free. Simply visit HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code BEAT30. I mean, when you talk about Jayson Tatum, it's not like they're getting a guy that, like, didn't produce a ton in college. You're getting a guy that scored 17 a game, 7 rebounds a game, 2 assists a game, a PER of about 22, and a guy that, as Matt said, got better as the year went on. Like, a guy that was a better producer as he got more comfortable playing his role, playing his position. And, you know, he's a freshman coming in, playing with a bunch of older guys. Some maybe at first it's a little weird, and you're coming off an injury, you're not totally explosive, not totally back, not comfortable playing yet. I get how that can be weird for a player. I look at Jayson Tatum, I see a guy that, again, has a bunch of skill already, in a skill that they desperately need. Like, they don't need another defensive guy that can't shoot. They have like 7 of them.
I don't know. I'm still pretty down on the pick. I don't know. I really all that stuff.
What would it take for you to be like, wow, this was great? So summer league's not going to matter for you, obviously, because that doesn't mean anything.
If he could, you know, show that he can shoot 37 or 38% from 3, that'll go a real long way. And if he could show that, you know, he could just not get absolutely rotating doored, like on defense, because I worry. He's going to be playing power forward, but he's really going to be playing like a swing role. He's going to be playing that position that Jay Crowder does, and that's a very important part of the Brad Stevens defensive scheme. You're responsible for weak side help. You're responsible for helping on the popper in pick and roll situations when there's instead of rolling the big man pops, you got to run out on that guy. You got to be able to read situations quick. You need to be able to shift quick. You need to be able to body up a rolling big. You need to be able to rebound. You need to do a lot. I don't know. If I could see that, if he could shoot well and do that, great. I would be very happy with that. I was never expecting the rookie to contribute much next year anyway. I think he's going to be getting the Jonas Jerebko minutes, which is probably what he should get. We'll see what happens. If Gordon Hayward's here, if Avery Bradley is not here, he might have a hard time finding minutes. To be honest, the Celtics are a deep team, so we'll see.
I think that with the playing time he's going to get, he's not going to be worth as much like a year from now when these big trade rumors start popping up again, as much as the number 3 pick was worth overall today. You're really sort of betting on Jayson Tatum long term, I think, and there's risk, and I certainly hope it pays off.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a perfect situation for him to thrive in. I think the fact that they can bring him along slowly, and he's gonna earn time for defensive stuff like everybody does. Like, it's what Jalen had to do. He had to play his position defensively. But I mean, if he's gonna shoot really well, that's gonna be great. The summer league thing is gonna be interesting because if he shoots well, that means nothing. But if he can't guard anybody, like Sam might be alluding to, that's going to be a big red flag. Like, if his defense is really bad during summer league, that's going to be a little bit cautious for me.
I'm not going to put much stock in the summer league, but if he was starting to like not pound the ball as much and like maybe be part of an offense and not try to like do a worse version of Melo, then I'd be a little bit encouraged.
Right.
I think there was reason to believe in his shooting, and I'm sure the Celtics loved his shot creation. So I do think there is a path for him to become an efficient scorer and really live up to that third pick. So, I do see a ceiling there with Jayson Tatum, but if he's not that efficient scorer, then he's not doing much else. So, I question if the floor is there, but maybe the Celtics were really confident in betting on what I think is a pretty high ceiling. So, we'll see what happens.
Real quickly on the second rounders, 37, Semi Ojeleye, 53 was Kadeem Allen, and 57 was Jabari Bird. I would assume Jabari Bird is going to be either a two-way guy or go overseas somewhere. Kadeem Allen is probably the same guy, although Alex Kungu tweeting out that he was brought onto the team solely to lock up Markelle Fultz, which he did a couple of times in college. It's just great, and I hope that storyline is legit.
Summer League highlight film.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, he's the next. So we've had the Jordan Mickey hype train. Did anybody have it last year?
Abdel Nader. The Nader.
Abdel Nader. Yeah, there's another one. So now we're going to have the Semi Ojeleye hype train. Just keep that trend rolling. Burn a bankroll that thing in 2017. And hopefully Summer League is fun. Summer League is going to be great. And you're going to see a lot of these younger guys coming up. But the big thing, free agency coming up July 1st. I know everybody's super excited about that, and we'll keep an eye out on Woj bombs and Stein lines and all those things as we get closer. And, of course, we'll have a bunch of shows about that stuff as well. We'll go all the way through Summer League, but make sure you stay tuned for us on CLNS Media to keep track of the Roundtable at CLNS Roundtable on Twitter. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, whether it's Stitcher or iTunes, thanks a lot. You can download our own app, the CLNS Radio mobile app, on both for Android and for iPhones. If you listen to us on iTunes, give us a 5-star review and then tell us what we're bad at. That'd be really awesome if you can do that. We love criticism. It's great on this stuff. If you watch us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Get freaky in the comment section. We'll usually answer, and we'll be coming at you with more great shows. So for Sam Sheehan, for Matt Ignal, look, it's late, dude. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. For Sam Sheehan, for Matt Ignal, for Lucky's Pipe, I'm Evan Valenti. We'll see you guys next time on the Roundtable on CLNS Media.
No, I'm talking about the Celtics. Like we don't have we're still $4 million short on cap space. The cap dropped. It's $99 million now. It's not $101. We need to clear $4 million in space, and
I really thought that they were going to trade Avery. I don't know.
I kind of shocked they didn't. Like, now you have to stash Yabu, and you have to fucking pay someone to take Terry Rozier, which is an awful look. Like, people are going to you.
You know what's going to be great about that is I don't have to eat a Rozier sandwich on this fucking show. That's going to be really great.
Sugar spaghetti sauce. What is it?
It's sugar. It's a spaghetti sandwich with sugar and ranch.